Welcome to the Mike Litton Experience Podcast. Mike has over 31 years experience in real estate, finance, and investing. He's passionate about being a father, a teacher, a realtor, an investor, and a leader. Everyone has a story, and our passion is to help them tell it. And now, introducing the host of the Mike Litton Experience, Mike Litton.
So what can you expect from the Mike Litton Experience? You can expect stories that will inspire, motivate, advice that will sharpen your focus, and expert information on real estate, finance, and market conditions.
Some of our clients knew that they couldn't continue, so they went into acquisitions and got acquired by a larger company. And most of the time when that occurs, the larger company already has a marketing firm and already works with them, so SEO is not needed. So most of those contracts are just go kaput. Mm-hmm. And then we have clients that were in the wine space. Mm-hmm. And you know what happened to wine as a trend? Just skyrocketed.
Sales went through the roof, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You couldn't even get into BevMo, and yet the sales went through the
roof.
roof.
They were running out of stock left and right. Yeah. Online sales are skyrocketing. One of our clients, they said they were doing Black Friday numbers for 3 months straight. So Black Friday numbers meaning some of our clients that are B2C, business to consumer, they make 50% of their annual revenue
on Black Friday.
On Black Friday or during the Black Friday and the winter holidays. So the fact that they were hitting those numbers for 3 months straight was insane. Then we had clients that had a solution for remote workers because everybody was going to remote work. One of the biggest issues was cybersecurity. Sure. And setting up everything for remote workers was a very difficult thing to do, especially with software. There wasn't really a known solution at that time that could quickly scale for larger companies.
And it was a scramble.
It was. And it was, a lot of companies didn't know that they had to set up cybersecurity measures for their employees that are now working remotely. They also had issues with VPN access if you're a remote worker, many other types of issues. So luckily, one of our clients had that solution. So the demand for one of their products increased while other products decreased during that time. But because they at least had one solution, it heavily impacted other people. Right. Then we have other clients that have that sell an intranet, which is kind of like an internal social media. Mm-hmm. So it helps with employee engagement, things like that. So luckily, the search demand for that type of a solution also increased. So we just had another balancing act to do is focus on the companies that have that solution for that time frame. Mm-hmm. And the other companies that disappeared as a solution or dropped their budgets, some of those companies came back around after the stay-at-home orders were gone. So that was great. So I want to say it actually, in the grand scheme of things, if we look at the financials, it was more of a positive impact versus a negative. But we also went through the tech bubble burst more recently. And many of our clients are in the business-to-business space, so that also impacted us. Some of them were decreasing budgets for the prior year, but after going through, after they're in Q1 and end of Q2, when their sales were exactly the same and didn't decrease, then they brought their budgets back. So it's just there's a lot of changes that positively impacted us at first. Some of the impacts were negative, but it was, again, just a balancing act that ended up positively impacting us in the end.
Yes, it was a crazy time. Absolutely. It was. Everybody was just reaching, right? I mean, it was, and it's a human thing, right? the thing that blew me away was sort of how fragile everybody appeared to be, right? Like
Yeah.
we took away the going to work thing,
Right.
and all of a sudden there was, increased drug use, there was increased drinking, there was spousal, abuse, or all kinds of
Yeah.
things happened that were sort of simmering under the surface, so to speak, right? And then the shutdown happens, and then they just kind of start rearing their ugly head, kind of thing. That was the thing that was the scariest for me, was sort of seeing those things take place and realizing, wow, people really don't do well when they have to stay home with each other for extended periods of time. I mean, my wife is, I'm a lot. You can tell, right? And we've been married 30 years, right? But she loves to tell people that she can take me just fine in doses. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just was one of those things that it really was kind of a crazy time.
It was a really interesting time.
So you come out of it, and it sounds like net you're positive, right?
Yep.
And so then that starts you on the next 3.5 years to now. So
Yeah,
where
we
are we,
focus more on scaling.
so where are we today?
So we when we were, after we got through all of that,
Mhm.
we are now at the point where we had to figure out how to scale. We've have scaled to a certain amount, which is really good. We're looking to scale more, but when we were scaling, I was at the point where I took on CEO duties.
Mhm.
I was trying to also take on more of like marketing duties. So not necessarily doing the day-to-day, but more of the strategic insight of like helping the marketing team focus in the right areas, helping them with the messaging, making sure that we have all that going. Then um, I was at the point where I was, managing a team in addition to that. So working with people to make sure that they're happy, working with people to make sure that the client they're running is happy. Then I was in charge of staffing and hiring and training. So we were at a point where I couldn't do all of it.
Yeah,
And
no
I had to
kidding.
figure out what to do. So what I did is I made a contact with a woman, Allison. Her company is Allison and Co. And she was a CEO at really well-known companies. And what she helped me do was come up with a playbook of exactly what I need to train people on that they won't get anywhere else. So yes, we can absolutely train people on SEO, but what are those things that make you you, like we were talking about earlier?
The intangibles, yeah.
And it was like three 2-hour sessions
Mhm.
where I would walk her through who I am as a person, how I think. And then we would walk through various examples of, okay, this is when this happens, this is what I would do that's different from everyone else.
Right.
So we pinpointed every single one and created this playbook. Then we came up with what I need to train people on to be a mini me.
Mhm.
And it ended up being a series of like 36 videos that were like 5 minutes each, 5 to 10 minutes each. But it was all on different subjects. And after I completed that, and when I would essentially have people go through that training, they would turn into more mini me's
Mhm.
and help grow the business. So I didn't have to be that person that's going to be hiring and training and staffing and all that. They
Right.
were able to take on those duties. And I have seen what the training is like in other agencies and whatnot. And it's nowhere near what we have. So I know
Yeah.
what we have is really fantastic. And that woman, Allison Co., helped us drastically. So now when now I actually have people that are, that are in charge of staffing, and then will tell me when we need to hire. Then I have people in charge of doing the hiring, which is really time consuming.
Yeah.
But they will be in charge of finding candidates, interviewing candidates, and then training the brand new person that comes on board, which again is like really time consuming. And luckily we have the training program. So usually at other agencies, if you hire someone new, it might take them 6 months to a year to really make sure that they can run an account and get onboarded. But with us, it's like a month or less.
Yeah.
Because of what we put together.
It's those 36 videos. It's the library, right? It's a library of you. And what's in those videos is your standards. That's it. And so it gives you an opportunity to communicate your standards while we're sitting here having this conversation. There's somebody watching those videos.
Yep, there is.
If they can't sleep at night and they want to know what's on the rest of the videos, they can watch them whenever right? It's literally available to them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's available to them when it's convenient for them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? And that's incredibly important because that's where your scaling comes from. Scaling comes from leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the leveraging that you're doing is incredibly important. And for her to sit down with you, I mean, all that is gold, absolute gold.
It was. And I feel like it still is.
That she literally gleaned from you, right? Got it on tape. And now it's available to, I mean, it's absolutely invaluable because you are the company and the company is you. Okay. And this is all about how you think and what's important to you. And, like you said, the things that they'll never learn anywhere else are available to them instantly.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So
Thank
luckily,
Thank Allison.
I know. And
right.
I have.
Yeah. Wow. We need to get her on the podcast. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I can send you her info.
So we're up to today. What's in store for tomorrow?
I would say we are continuing to scale at this point, but I think it's so interesting when you have a small business and you scale it with like the first couple of people to a team with 5 people, now a team with 30 people. Each step of scaling you have is very different. And where we're at now is now we have, now we're able to scale. So like when we get a new client, we can easily scale the team. But now what we need to scale is the leadership factor. So I'm having really, really amazing, well-known people in the SEO and marketing industry help me come up with the next steps of what we need to do to scale to the next level, which is going to be very different.
Yes.
And one of the things, for example, is identifying an advisory board and getting that advisory board in place so that when you have these random issues, you can go to them with a specific example and they can provide you with specific recommendations on exactly what to do. Because sure, you can go online, get training, try to read articles about it, but no one has your specific issue. So you can't tell them that specific item and get feedback. And having that advisory board is going to be incredibly helpful for us to take it to the next level. So I would say it's still scaling on our horizon, but more of the leadership team.
So 2 things. Number 1, who makes up the advisory board?
We don't know who we're going to be adding to the advisory board yet. I mean, I do have certain people in mind for an advisory board. So for example, we talked about what types of the different issues we have, and we're looking for people that have like a specific experience in one particular topic. So for example, obviously someone who runs a service-based business that's at the $100 million revenue mark. We are looking for someone that is more of like a CEO level of that and has scaled a business to 100 million so we can figure out exactly how to get there. We want someone who is in the technology space, so more of like someone who can identify the exact programs and software we need to scale. And then someone who has more experience in branding that can help us with the marketing aspect of it. And then we also want someone in social media who has really scaled either a social media company or has done social media from the ground up for well-known brands. So there's certain areas that we need advice on, and we're hoping to land some of those people, but we don't have like a specific person in mind.
Gotcha. So the other question is, who's your perfect client today?
A perfect client, I can't just have one. Can I have two?
You can have as many as you want. I'm just, if somebody's listening to this, right, and they need help with digital marketing, it sounds like they need to be reaching out to you. So I'm looking from you, if I was to create the perfect client for you, who would that be?
I would say it would be either a B2B client or a client that's in the e-commerce space that already is a well-known brand in either the mid-size or enterprise level, and has a global presence, because our team is not just in the US, we have in-country native speakers in other countries, and a lot of those well-known brands, they need to scale to other countries, and you really need those native experts that are not just SEO experts. So you also need translators on your team that really know the language and the grammar of that particular subject and language. So I would say, yeah, B2B or e-commerce, mid to enterprise that are global.
So how about a blossoming podcast?
That sounds really great. I would love to just help you.
Oh, I've been told that my SEO is awful. Like,
oh, really?
And I'm a one-man show, right? It's me and my assistant.
Oh, yeah, it's very time consuming.
So
I would be more than happy.
Yeah, I've had a lot of feedback from people that just told me your SEO is terrible. It's like,
oh gosh.
yeah.
See, I wouldn't be that mean. I would just give you a list of all the steps that you need to do, and you can hand it off to one of your staff.
So how does somebody get in touch with you if they're looking for digital marketing help?
So they can visit our website. That's Minerva Digital, spelled MENERVA digital.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, Minerva Digital.
So I will put a link to minervadigital.com on your description for the episode.
Oh,
so
thank
people
you.
can click on it and get to you. How did you come up with Minerva as a name?
So my name, Cassandra, comes from Greek mythology. Cassandra was the daughter of King Priam, who always knew the truth, but no one believed her. I don't know if you know this.
Wow.
But I always love that story. So, or how I'm connected to Greek mythology. So I was trying to find any type of name in Greek mythology, and a lot of them were taken. And Minerva, spelled M-I-N, is a goddess of wisdom, which makes a lot of sense if you're, supposed to be educating people on SEO.
Right.
But Minerva was taken, so I looked at other spellings, and Minerva, M-E-N, is a Roman goddess. And I believe that they're literally the goddess of everything: art, war, wisdom. So I thought that sounded really fantastic. So we decided to name it Minerva Digital.
I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I had to know that it'd be a world-class story. I knew it. I absolutely knew it before I asked. Thank you so much for being our guest on the Mike Litton Experience. This has been a lot of fun. I have really thoroughly enjoyed every minute of this.
Well, I really appreciate you having me, and I've also enjoyed it too.
So when you write the book, you need to come back so we can promote it.
Oh, yeah. That's on my 10-year plan.
This has gotta be, this story's gotta be a book one of these days.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Thanks for being here. We hope you enjoyed another episode of the Mike Litton Experience. If you did, do us a favor, smash that subscribe button, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about our program, and wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a rating. It helps us to connect with quality people just like you.
And that's a wrap. Another episode of the Mike Litton Experience in the books. Reach out to Mike on Instagram at Litton Realty. Want to meet with Mike? Check out calendly.com/Rio760.